the ambiance.
Are you ready to get philosophical?
I fucking love this shit.
Beautiful listeners, you are worth all the stars in the sky.
Hell yeah.
And at least 2 perfectly cooked grilled cheeses.
Hell yeah. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Sometimes. He's been known to shit in a liquor tent. Yeah, pick up a book, losers.
Pick up a book, losers.
Welcome to the Based Banter Podcast.
What is up, everybody? This is a very special episode coming to you live from Fanboy 2026.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, what a time to be here. What a time to have ears, buddy. So, would you like to tell us a little bit what's been going on, man, from your perspective?
Yeah, buddy. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Based Banter Podcast. Jerry will be your host today. I will also be a co-host on this extraordinary adventure here at Fanboy Expo. And you know what's going on, buddy? We're on day 2. This is Saturday here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We have our booth set up. We've been engaging in conversation with a ton of extraordinary individual people that, you know, I think that just the embodiment of conversation is what we do here, and what we've been doing with just random people all day long has filled me with incredible, joy and happiness, and in hearing the feedback from people is just amazing. It's incredible.
And it is so great to get to meet people face to face, people that can resonate with the idea, the conceptual prowess that is the Based Banter Podcast.
you hyping it up. Go ahead.
There's so
gas me up, brother.
He's like, my ego has never been more stroked.
No, I mean, we did have a gentleman come up to us. He's been coming up to our booth regularly. We've had great conversations with him about psychology, controversial topics, and he gave probably the best compliment I think we have received for the podcast and for us in general. He came up to us and he was like, you know, I've been watching you guys interact with individuals at your booth, and you keep the conversation going with each and individual person. You have the same amount of gusto and energy and excitement about each topic that you have with these people, and you never show exhaustion. You keep it going, and he's like, I commend you for that. And that, dude, that made me feel so good.
And that's the thing, man. Whenever you love what you do, it is hardly a labor.
That's right.
It just becomes that labor of love, man. And I love meeting people and connecting. It is.
Now, you got to think, dude, how weird is it to be here at a convention center, right? And then you're just walking around, going from booth to booth, and then you walk by this one booth that's a podcast, and then they are actually recording an episode right now, live.
It's got to be awkward, at least.
It's awkward. Is it awkward for them, or is it awkward for us? I don't know.
I don't know.
This is kind of like when you sing in the shower and then you decide to go do karaoke. You're like, maybe it's good and it sounds good to me. I don't know.
The confidence from the shower just wakes you up, and you're just like, yeah, I could go do this in front of people.
And then you're in front of people and you're like, what have I done? But yeah, man. So, you know.
It is day 2, man.
It is day 2.
The first day was a really interesting setup.
Fantastic.
It was a lot of trial and error, seeing what actually connects and
absolutely,
seeing,
yeah, man.
And seeing the capabilities, testing the waters, so to speak.
Right. And I have to ask, dude, just to keep this thing we may be here and we may be doing an episode for, posting for later, but I would be remiss without asking, aside from the convention, dude, what have you been up to?
Oh, buddy, this has taken my entire attention because I just want it to go well.
Hell yeah, dude.
I just wanted it to go well. My expectations were really low.
That's the best way to do it. And with that being said, I'm the same way, man. I've been driving at home, focused on creating art for this and then building up this moment. The moment that we've been waiting for months and months and months has finally arrived.
It has finally arrived.
So, without further ado, my dude.
Are you excited for the topic that I have at hand for you?
Hell
okay.
Yeah, I fucking love this shit.
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
So, I've been thinking a lot about conventions, man. Right?
Have you? I wonder why.
How suiting would it be to do a convention topic at a convention?
Right.
So,
is this niche? Has anyone done this? I mean, we might be breaking ground. You think?
There is a podcast that is like sponsored by Fanboy.
Or they sponsor Fanboy?
Or they sponsor?
I don't know which one it is.
But either way, they are associated.
Right. Shout out to...
Hardly the first people to do this, but I think there are some interesting points to take away, because earlier we had done an episode talking about amusement parks.
Right.
And the novelty of amusement parks. It calls on a particular kind of person that likes thrills, maybe themes, because they can be themed to the extreme. Like, and conventions, man. And conventions are themed. They can be a little bit more general.
Right.
It's kind of like the same sort of crowd and the same sort of draw.
Right.
But with the focus on something entirely different. And you were saying this would be your first one?
This is my very first ever convention. I did do a pro wrestling event at a convention many years back. But again, I was in the green room the entire time until my act. And then right after my act, I went back to the green room. But it was interesting because I got to bump shoulders with people like Burt Reynolds, Dolly Parton, Bam Margera. So it was like, I'm just this small, tiny little fish swimming in this ginormous pond with these crazy celebrities, and it was just so surreal. But I think the really cool thing about conventions that I really kind of undervalued and have been missing out on is it's kind of like concerts, right? You got this concept that brings people together who all have very vast similar interests as you and the people who are setting up booths and the people who are cosplaying. You know, all these people come together and they're all sharing their love for their culture, their interests. Like Dungeon Crawler Carl has been like the talking point of the fucking con. And then you have people who love anime. You have people who love sharing their art. I think the whole essence of like sharing your interests with strangers and people all around you is just, it's part of the human experience, dude. And I really love it. Like, I think it's amazing.
Is there a better way to meet your people than to go to a convention? Because you've got to think, right? So even musicians have conventions called NOM. It's one of the most like popular, like, well, this is like more specific for guitars, and you could go to that convention not even being like a musician, and you're going to run into at least 11 out of 12
right,
everybody there. And if that's your people, that's your people. And conventions give you this awesome medium, this vehicle to incite some change, man. Like, you could definitely spruce up your mutuals.
Right, you expand your network.
Networking.
Yes. I think it's really cool too that, like, especially for me, dude, I mean, I may not seem like it, but I'm a rather introverted person, right? I may do like acting and wrestling and then go and be a part of like social gatherings, but for the most part I spend most of my time alone, and to be out here surrounded by a ton of people constantly is just, at first it's daunting, but then, eventually you're just like, this is cool, and I really enjoy this.
I think what we're doing right now is probably the most daunting part for me.
Yeah.
Because usually I will have at least a little bit of a drink.
Right.
And that kind of calms the nerves and kind of like opens up the neurons to fire. So right now it's kind of like uneasy. I'm still trying to like get some bearings. It's such a weird and awkward thing to try to record something.
For me, I think it feels a lot like pro wrestling, right? Like, you've spent the time practicing, you go and you train, you work hard, you build up a craft and a performance, and then when it comes time to do said performance in front of an audience, then it's like, okay, now is when the rubber meets the road. This is when we are going to show our progress. And right now is kind of one of those moments where all of the time we've put into being a part of this podcast has kind of evolved us to a point to be able to do something quite as spectacular as this.
Yeah, and it's kind of different because it's not to an audience. We aren't exactly like sitting here talking and then people are like, yeah, and like listening.
I think the number one thing to remember when it comes to that particular thing is that most people don't really care, right? They might take a side glance as they walk by and then just be like, oh, that's interesting. What's going on over there? Oh, okay, well, they're doing something, so let's just keep moving.
It's definitely the spotlight effect in action.
You feel like everyone's staring at you and they're judging you and then hanging on to every word you're saying and then thinking, why are they saying this and that and whatever. But in reality, they don't really care, right? No one really cares.
That's everybody. Everyone
and in fact,
has the spotlight on them.
They might even think that that's actually brave. I commend them for doing something so like bold and being like shameless about it too. Just fucking turning the camera on, turning the mics on, and then doing the thing.
Do you think it comes from a place of ego? The people that find it really easy to do kind of stuff like this?
I think it comes from a place of being comfortable in one's own skin. Because there's a little bit of a difference in like having the ego and saying that like my shit don't stink and in fact I want you to smell it versus like you know, I'm gonna do this whether you like it or not and I'm gonna have fun with it.
It's confidence, man. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it is. And I think the longer we do this, the more time we've been doing this, you know, the easier it is going to be to digest. We had a conversation with a guy earlier, and we were talking about, like, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And there's no better time in your life for your progress than to get out of your comfort zone and to embrace this feeling we're feeling right now, and then taking that moment to deal with it, assess it, and then complete it. And then once you've completed it, you're going to look back on this and be like, wow, what an extraordinary endeavor. And to come out of it the other side unscathed is going to do wonders for our character development, our podcast development, and even for the convention too. Like, we're actively a part of this living organism of like fan interaction, pop culture. I think it's just a beautiful thing, man.
And what I'm starting to see is that feeling comes second to doing. If you just do it and let the feeling come with you, then there isn't anything you can't do. And
Right. So I think it's this is going to be something that I might partake a little bit more of in the future because I've had so much fun, right? Like here in our hometown, we get a lot of conventions, and we get like, you know, Anime Con, Creepy Con, Fanboy Expo, and these are all different themed conventions. But I think Fanboy Expo is uniquely different because it is like not really a niche genre of convention. It's like all of your interests combined into one.
It's really trying to appeal to the nerd culture.
Everyone.
And these are our people.
Yeah, you've got Star Wars booths, you've got Star Trek booths, you've got people selling art, you've got people, you know, in dressed in cosplay, you've got fucking all celebrities, like Shia LaBeouf is here, Alec Baldwin, Laura Papone, or whatever her name is.
Dude, everyone here has been moved by a piece of media.
Yes.
And some so much so that they continue to hold onto it in different ways, whether that be through like memorabilia, through making art of that said media itself. And one of the ways that people also do it is they want other people to experience that media that's helped shape and change their life. And honestly, that's a little bit of what we're doing here.
Right.
At our table, we have a book set up, so a little bit of invitation, because that's a piece of media here lately that I've been pretty passionate about. It's really exciting. It's good media.
It's cool to watch people light up whenever they find you are interested in the thing that they're interested in, and then you get to share your like interests with them, and then the next thing you know, you're talking about it like you've known this person your whole life. And it's because of this shared interest, right? Like you get to be a part of something with somebody else, and no matter who you are as a person, what your other interests are, what matters is that you are bonding with a complete stranger over something that you both stumbled across.
Community is one of those things that I think gets overlooked so much whenever we think about mental well-being. And if we can just get ourselves involved with the community and not get this negative bias that, oh, people are out to get me, or that the world is just evil.
Right.
Because there's people that just do this shit for the fun of it.
Right.
There are people that are definitely trying to get something from you. And discerning the both, it will definitely help you settle into whichever community is right for you.
Right. Yeah, and I think, there's a really cool psychological aspect to all of this that I think you're touching on right now with the form of community. And I'd love to digest that real quick. Like, do you think that it's inherently in our human nature to crave community and to reach out and seek people who are, like-minded like you? Or do you think that it's something that is now part of our new culture, new society?
I think so. Obviously, not an expert. I'm not an anthropologist.
But I think you might be our first and foremost expert here on psychology, on anthropology, and human psychology.
But the way I see it is that we evolved from villages, like in the most primitive of forms. Clusters of people had to rely on each other in order to survive, and then that survival turned into thrival, to where people are able to focus on making goods and contributing to the betterment of their society that they have there. And so I think it's not necessarily anything new, but I think that maybe the evolution hasn't quite caught up to the actual grasp, the actual range that civilization has expanded.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of growth. Like, the Industrial Revolution made it a lot easier for people to populate areas.
Okay, so I want to look up something real quick. I want to look up the very first ever convention. How far back do you think it goes? Like, what do you think the year was?
I don't think 70s. I don't think 80s. But I could be wrong. I honestly don't have any information to base that off of. And it's not something I've given a lot of thought to.
All right, so, oh my God.
What you got?
Wow. So if you had to pick, you said it wouldn't be the 70s, wouldn't be the 80s. The information I have here for you right now, given to us by this AI overview, states that the very first fan convention was a science fiction gathering held in Philadelphia in 1936, organized by writer Frederick Pohl and a small group of local sci-fi fans. It consisted of just 9 attendees who traveled from New York to meet a similar group of enthusiasts. How incredible is that?
That is the spirit that still lives today, and I think it serves so much.
That's amazing to see how far it's come, too. The first convention had 9 attendees. 9 people went to the very first convention. What? What? And they traveled from New York to Philadelphia to do it, too.
That's a commitment to do something that is so new. Like, it just was conceptualized and put into action, and people agreed to do it.
I wonder what the, what was, advertised to be there. Because I don't know much of...
how do you get the people there? What is the...
Yeah, what was the science fiction, appeal? Was it novels? What was going on?
Meet your favorite authors. I wonder if it was that sort of thing.
So, all right. So basically, what it's saying is that, so there's not a whole lot of information on it, but I think there was magazines and novels that were written in science fiction, and that's what pulled these people into it. So it was there wasn't a whole lot of motion pictures. But there was news that talked about science fiction too. So, I think that again, just a general appeal of community for people who are enthusiasts on a general topic was what brought people together, and that's how conventions were born. And it's interesting to me that science fiction is the first niche category that really expanded the entire whole aspect of everything that you see right here in front of you. I mean, we got thousands of people here right now.
Dude, I would dare say that conventions and things of the like supplement that rudimentary sense of community, because as technology grows and as we get all this amazing tech that lets us communicate with people around the world, we end up a little bit more disconnected from the cities that we live and the people that live around us. And eventually that takes its toll. It takes its toll in the form of loneliness, where you might feel isolated.
Right.
And conventions are probably the way to supplement.
Yes, I agree.
That lack.
And I think that might also be why it's so popular, right? Because it's kind of like the pressure valve release on a kettle, you know, like where we do have this disconnect in our daily social lives, that whenever you get to go to a convention, it's kind of like you get to let all that out. You get to experience that you've been missing out on in your social life, or you're just even sharing your interests with people. It's one of those things, I think, that it's, like you said, it supplements an underlining issue people don't even realize they have.
Okay, so we've talked about and said that there are like themed conventions, much like ones that are for anime, and this one's just kind of like the general one.
And what better convention for us to be a part of as a podcast that doesn't have like a complete niche genre than to be a part of a convention that also doesn't have a complete niche genre.
Yeah, and it is pretty like umbrella.
It's pretty fitting, really.
But the question I was going to ask you, buddy, if you could make a convention like themed around something, because there's cryptid conventions where people like, is there one that you wish existed?
Okay, well, all right. So if I had to make one that wasn't already made,
assuming it's not.
Assuming, because I don't know, I'm not the first and foremost leader in all conventions on the world. But I think that either it would be like world history, which also sounds kind of boring, but like maybe like fitness, right? Like entirely fitness-oriented convention where it's like you got the leaders in the fitness industry there meeting people, giving tips and tricks, and then you have like little stations where you can test yourself. Maybe you climb a rock wall or something.
There's just like a bunch of workout equipment.
Where every station you work out at, you're just, by the end of the convention, you're fucking ripped.
I imagine that convention would stink really bad.
Deodorant is handed out at the door, dude. And you have to show proof you showered before you came. I think fitness would be mine. If you could pick one, what would you pick?
It would definitely have to be this probably exists, but it'd be really cool to meet a bunch of singer-songwriters.
Specifically singer-songwriters, not just like rock music or like metal or like rap or pop, but like singer-songwriters.
Just like the spirits of like DIY type. Not necessarily the people that...
crafting would be sick.
Yeah.
A crafting convention?
There are craft markets I see that pop up.
Okay, what are some things that are like convention-like, but not really conventions? Like, I think we have this thing in our town called Farmers Market, where like all of the farmers get together, meet up downtown, and sell their produce. To me, that feels a bit convention-esque, right? Like everyone has all their product they're trying to sell. All the like-minded individuals get together and talk about horticulture and farming, and then they trade. Like, that's pretty much essentially what we're doing here.
But I think the difference is the scale, maybe? Is that where it gets differentiated?
Well, because, the first one had 9 people, right? It was still considered a convention. And Farmers Market is successful in our town, so... I think that's one. What do you think about like malls? Do you think malls are like a convention type thing?
It's like a daily convention that you could just walk up to, and everybody there shares the interest of consumerism.
Right.
We're all here to consume whatever these corporations are shilling.
Okay, all right. What about like going to, like, let's say. It's hard to put into words the idea that I have in my mind, because it's not, I don't think it exists, but like being like passionate about like topics, like a conversation convention. A podcast convention.
A podcast convention.
Yes.
Everybody is a conversationalist.
Yes.
Everyone is curious to hear what you got to say.
Yes, and each booth is like a different topic of discussion.
the different niches.
Yes, like this booth, we're going to talk about abortion. This booth, we're going to talk about aliens. This booth, we're talking about cryptocurrency.
This one, we're going to talk about alien abortions.
This one, we're going to talk about alien currency.
Just put alien in front of like any topic.
Everything.
And you can just double it all over.
Yeah, I wonder if like aliens have like fortune tellers.
I wonder if aliens have aliens.
I wonder if aliens have aliens have aliens. They're like, don't go to that planet Earth.
They're like, I wonder if humans actually exist.
They're like, I saw one once outside my backyard. It didn't just turn into nothingness and disappeared. Yeah, man.
There's got to be stories, man. Stories untold of people that have seen the aliens. Do you think they get together and have a convention and talk about it?
A convention or like what is it? Whenever you go
a support group.
Yeah, like a support group. They're like, okay, we've all invited you here today because you have a real problem.
Yeah, you keep talking about this UFO you saw, man. Nobody believes you. It's actually kind of getting in the way of your life.
Right.
You're kind of obsessing over it. So let's.
Okay, so back on the topic of conventions, I do have a question for you. We've seen a ton of cosplayers, right?
Yes.
So before I dive into the topic I want to ask you about, I want to ask your opinion. What do you think has been the best cosplay you've seen so far?
Under which metrics? Because I have
just
seen...
your opinion, because you can make your own metrics, right? Like you can say the passion involved in like the complete accuracy, or just like something that is just your favorite thing that you saw.
I gotta say, I'm a bit partial to the Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh yeah, the guy wearing the heart-shaped shorts.
With that being like a newer IP to the info sphere, the entertainment sphere, then it's just cool that people would choose to do that.
Yes, and it's a bold look too, right? Because you're in your boxers, barefoot, walking around in the most weird-looking getup. You got a leather vest on, heart-shaped boxer shorts, spiked knee pads, gloves, a bandana. Like you are a smorgasbord of a fashion disaster. But yeah, that's a good one.
It's a choice, man.
I would have to say mine would be the Master Chief that we saw today when we got here. That dude's look was on point. And on top of that, he had this like voice audio changer that made it sound like he was speaking through like some kind of like synthesizer that changed his voice.
That one was really well done. And then there was another one, you can hear the announcers. Someone with a yellow Volvo, you are parked in a no parking zone. You are being towed.
The guy driving the Lightning McQueen RX-8, you are being towed. Yeah, so what was the other one you were going to say? Five Nights at Freddy's?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, that guy.
Was it
amazing.
The Freddy Fazbear that he was?
I think so. I think, dude, it was just so
complete
good.
with the electronics and voice changer. It was the whole get up, and dude, the commitment to that, and I gotta imagine that took a lot of time.
Right.
And that's that thing too that I was saying about being so passionate about like a form of media.
Right.
To be passionate about an IP like that, so where you want to share it with other people that you would, make this cosplay.
Yes.
You go through all this dedication, spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
For sure. And I think that that kind of segues right into my initial topic of discussion around this whole cosplay aspect is like, what do you think's going on, like psychologically, that like it urges people to embody these characters and this IP that you mentioned, to portray it to such accuracy? Because they're spending thousands of dollars for something that they don't even really get paid for, right? But like the passion and emotion put into each outfit and design is just so profound that it makes it feel like, they are a walking art display in of themselves. So what do you think kind of like psychological mindset it is that makes people want to do that?
It is, what I believe it to be is like a proverbial like bat signal, so they can like find their people.
Yes.
Like, but maybe not as consciously of an action. So
right.
That might be like a byproduct of doing it. It's like you meet people that are interested in that you can share it with. But then there's also got to be a point to where you get to share this with new people, because if you see a character walking around and someone's done up really well, you're going to wonder, like, what's that from?
Right.
And then maybe that sparks an interest in you.
Right.
And all from that love of doing it and sharing it with somebody. You've got someone else that could possibly love and share it with other people too. It's a disease. It's a parasite.
It's a parasitic, infectious mental disease. All right, man. So I have a couple other questions I want to ask you too. So from this event so far that we've had, what would you say has been your favorite moment?
Favorite moment so far? Favorite moment so far has got to be... Oh, man, I don't have one singular favorite moment. There has been a collective of awesome-ass moments that has...
If you could summarize any moment into, like, a category, I feel like I know what you're going to say, and I probably am going to share the same sentiment, but if you could summarize it.
Honestly, man, I'm going to get sappy. I'm going to say sharing this with someone that has the same passion and we are like going the same way. I think this wouldn't be half as fun without my partner and co-host, best friend, man. That's fucking great.
That's amazing, dude. I appreciate that. And the feeling is mutual, dude. I could not imagine doing something like this on this scale with anybody else. To this level.
You got to think, man, we could get so focused on like the actual, like all of the stimuli and everything that's, comes of this.
Right.
But you got to take a moment back, be present.
Yep, that's absolutely right.
We're here, man. We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're right here. We're live in the flesh. And like we said yesterday, after the first day, it was like, dude, the day flew by so fast. I'm getting emotional because, like, I know the whole weekend is going to be over with before we know it, and we're going to have to go back to normal life. And
yeah, then, how do you even?
Yeah, man.
Well, what about you? What's been your favorite part? One singular moment. Tell me your favorite 90 seconds of this whole...
favorite 90 seconds. Probably talking with Richard, dude.
Shout out Richard.
Dude.
If you know, you know.
He is the
guy that you hit up whenever you need your smart car's roof converted to convertible.
What a guy.
That is the guy. What a guy.
But not only that, but like he has a understanding of like a fundamental understanding of like different topics, and he can riff off of so many different topics and has a well-versed, vocabulary that also is unbiased, unopinionated, and also informative and research-based. And he does it in a way that you could talk about controversial topics, but it doesn't feel offensive, and it feels like an important conversation that needs to be heard and needs to be had.
He has a very kind heart. He's a loving dude, and it's such a wonderful thing to.
And this is not to like say all of our interactions with everyone else is not as equally as important, because they are all in their own way super important and very special, and every single person we have interacted with has been an amazing walk of life, and I can't wait to meet more people and interact with more people and have more conversations with people. People are sharing alien stories with us. They're talking Dungeon Crawler Carl with us. They're talking about our rocks that we have that we're giving away.
We're giving away rocks.
We're giving away rocks. And then it's just like each one of these little experiences are just little nuggets that will go into my life for the rest of my life as something that I'll look back on and remember, and it'll be a fond memory that will make me smile all the way until I die.
Bam. That's why we do it.
That is exactly why we do this. So now one of my last questions that I'm going to ask you before we wrap this up.
You've just taken the lead and ran away with it. I've honestly been flustered, and that's
totally okay, man.
Just been what the doctor ordered. Buddy.
That's why we do this. That's what it's all about. And also, I just love to talk. I love to hear my own voice.
He does. So
you can sit through an episode and just randomly fast forward it. 100% out of the time, you're going to land on me talking.
Which isn't to say that it isn't welcome. It is a very welcome thing, man. I think that is the beauty of it. Is I think whenever it finally expands and we get to talk to, like, we get to bring on people.
Yes.
That the whole host dynamic is going to be one interesting shift.
Right. It'll be interesting for us to, it'll be a challenge, really. It's also going to play into the openness of accepting other people's points of views, regardless of how we feel about things, which I don't think we'll have an issue with, because and I'm not trying to like toot our horns or speak for you or myself as far as like being like virtuous and righteous, but we're quite like accepting for most people's points of views and ideology.
We are extremely agreeable, I would
Yes.
say. I think that's so. There is a test, right?
Right.
There are 5 different metrics that they say your personality like has the attributes of, and that's the ocean test. So that's, if I can remember this correctly, it's openness, conscientiousness, extrovertedness, and then what was A? And then neuroticism.
Neuroticism.
So how neurotic we are, but
That just comes with the autism, baby.
Rhythm with the tism.
Rhythm with the tism. Nah, dude. I think that eventually when we do start having guests, I think one of our goals, again, has been to, like, we'll focus on having people who are experts in their field. That will be a thing. But we're also going to focus generally on, like, people who are just average, that have normal 9-to-5 jobs, that also have opinions, and they don't have a platform that they can share those opinions on. And also, again, it's like that mindset of the window into the average person's, like, mindset and interpretation of the world and all of the topics that are around us.
And that's how you keep the banter based, man.
Yes.
It is unapologetically and completely genuine.
Yep, and it's one of those things too where like conversations is it has always been our primary form of like the transfer of information, right? Now, throughout time we've developed reading and writing, and then you got newspapers, and you get the internet, and now you have podcasts, and it's like it's evolved. But one thing that has not evolved too much is conversation. Primarily, before all of that, you had people sharing stories, word of mouth. Like even religious texts were told through oral tradition, right?
It was passed down from
Right.
generation to generation.
And the responsibility of conversation and having, these discussions of importance, be it, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a talk about like change or psychology or physiology or like anything philosophical. Sometimes it can just be about the weather. Something minute. Maybe it's just you're taking someone's mind off of a traumatic event, and you're just there with them, and you strike up a conversation about conspiracies, and it gives them a little bit of a breakup from reality. It's important to have those kinds of conversations.
It is important to find that escapism, and what a great escape to find in people.
Right.
To build some faith in humanity, because boy does it get hard to believe sometimes about
Yes.
what we see on the news about people just ruining society.
Right. And, if you want any kind of, like, look into restoring your faith in humanity, you don't have to look too much farther than conventions, because
Conventions,
it
community.
brings people together, that people who are like-minded, filled with positivity, positive energy, love and care and kindness for each other. That it's one of those things where you just get a chance to, like, just embrace the positivity and, like, really just kind of connect with individuals on a more deeper level than just passing them by on the streets and then not ever really saying a word. And you don't know what they're into, you don't know what they like. But at a convention, it's obvious they're dressed up like what they like. You got booths that are completely decorated in people's passion, and it's just one of those things that it's like you can see the light, the love on people, and the light shining off of people, and the positive energy and atmosphere. Again, to me, it's like a concert. You go to a concert,
Okay.
Everyone around you is there for the same thing, and it's all about that community, dude. It's all about that community.
Community. Today's subtopic.
We might dive into that one day.
But I don't think you could talk about it like a huge congregation of people without community.
That's exactly right.
Is there any other sort of scenario where a group of people, a bunch of people get together that isn't for the sake of something that it's community adjacent, at least?
Yeah. People who are lobbying for change in Congress and bills and stuff like that. Like, those people line out down the block just to kind of like incite change, but they're not really no, it's all back to community, right?
It's all back to community.
All back to community.
So as much as I have tried to find not community, what's the opposite of community?
Isolation.
The antonym.
The antonym would be antonym. The antonym. That's that autism.
That's
the
new
antonym
words.
is isolation, loner mentality, putting yourself in a box and never leaving. And I think those kinds of people are missing out. And even if you think it's difficult, even if you feel like you might not like something like a convention, you've never been, I encourage you to try. I encourage you to put yourself in that uncomfortable point and state and go out and enjoy it and really just try something new. Try it out and see for yourself how it is.
And you know what? And if it isn't clear, I will say it out loud that this is our attempt at building that community.
Yes, sir.
The community that we ourselves believe in, and that's, I think, would be a positive change. I mean,
Right.
even if it isn't, it should be a fun time.
It's been.
But
It's
I
been
believe
a fun
in
time.
it.
Dude. After yesterday, I told you, and I stand by this 110,000%. There's no amount of money that I could ever spend in the pursuit on this podcast that will ever feel like a waste. Because if even one single person, one individual person, ever clicked on our posts or our channels and listened to our podcast and found anything at all inspiring, or even if they didn't like it, we've done our job as far as like keeping the conversation going and then reaching people and connecting with people and giving them a break from reality.
Bam. And that's it. And that's why we do it, buddy. So
it.
if you would like to join the community, boy, we
Yes.
are on the social medias.
Yes.
We are doing the things.
We're doing the thing. And to be specific, specifically, you can always just go to our YouTube channel, Based Banter Podcast. I mean, you had to know the name of it to find us here, right? But if you didn't, well, now you do.
How did you get here today?
How did you get here? Maybe a friend of a friend told you about it.
Dude, leave a comment and see if you can't get someone else to get someone else, like a pyramid scheme, and
Like
get
a pyramid
someone
scheme.
else.
You're going to be my underline, brother.
And
But
then,
yes. Yeah, man. So
Okay.
head on over to those socials. That's Based Banter Podcast at Gmail. Based Banter Podcast at Facebook. Jesus Christ. I
in the
can't talk.
basement.
In the basement. Facebook. Based Banter Podcast at Spotify. Jesus Christ, what happened? My brain is mush.
These are hard words, buddy.
These are hard words, but I digress. You know what? We've been talking for about 20 hours, and we're going to talk some more, dude.
Yeah.
And with that all being said, we appreciate everybody for supporting us thus far. All you new people we've met at the convention this weekend, thank you guys so much for listening.
This is a huge shout out to anyone that has stopped by the booth, that has engaged in conversation, anyone that has taken a rock.
Yes, we're speaking to you directly. Those that took the rock, those that took our candy.
Big appreciation.
You were
big
brave
shout out.
enough to take candy from a stranger, and for that we thank you.
The stranger, the better.
The stranger, the better. And to the future people who have we not yet to meet, welcome aboard. Welcome to the community. And please tune in next time. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe, and tell your friends, because we ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going nowhere.
All right.
Peace. Peace.
So excited.
It's all the same, except well, they could just do whatever now. They don't do Yeah, but yes, great.
Hey, Fanboy Expo, the legendary Lita Forum will be doing their photo op coming up at 2:20. Show will be at 2:35 and panel room A on the 3rd floor. Grant Show will have theirs photo up at 2:40. Mira Wilson will be at 2:40. Edward Furlong's photo op is at 2:55. Joel and David Moore will be at 3 o'clock. Cooper Barnes is at 3:10. And Shamik Moore will be at 3:10. Daphne Zunaka is going to be.
So I don't know if we're going to do that. Come over here.
Fanboy Expo. Next Gibson's photo op is starting in 15 minutes. If you haven't seen her, you need to go get your photo done at the photo op for Debbie Vincent. The cost for this contest is going on at Room A for this cosplay contest.
Oh, excuse me.